The digital world is one more battlefield, of course, in that struggle. As part of his military invasion of Ukraine, Vladimir Putin has waged an information war against Ukraine, using television, the internet, and social media tools to spread misinformation and manipulate public opinion about the situation. Pro-Kremlin media dominate the airwaves within Russia, as Marcus said, but also target Russian speakers in Ukraine and neighboring countries, including the Baltic states, we know this very well as Western audiences more generally. Dennis will know this. There are some in the Canadian Russian community whose primary sources of information about Russian policy are RT and other de facto Russian propaganda outlets from which they develop a very distorted vision of what's actually happening. So we can do more to help Eastern and Central Europe push back against Putin's propaganda machine, to help democratic forces in Russia to push back against Putin's propaganda machine. And therefore, I'm pleased to announce that a re-elected Conservative government will establish a digital freedom fund to support international groups and independent media using digital tools to advance the cause of freedom and democracy around the world with an investment of $10 million. The fund will support efforts to counter Russian propaganda in Ukraine and elsewhere in Eastern and Central Europe. This funding will build on our government's successful partnership with the University of Toronto to open a political dialogue and free expression in countries where citizen participation is threatened, such as in Iran. For example, we support the Rouhani Meter, an online tool that actively tracks the Iranian president's progress in meeting his election promises. So with this digital fund, we look forward to innovative proposals from civil society organizations on similar tools that we can use in Russian to inform Russians and Russophones around the world about the reality of what is happening in Ukraine and elsewhere. And this $10 million commitment is real money. Secondly, Canada's ability to track financial flows of Russian capital and to apply its sanctions with full impact can be further improved. And so a re-elected Conservative government will establish a financial task force comprised of foreign policy experts and financial analysts to better track Russian capital flows in global markets. The focus would be Russian state-owned enterprises as well as individuals and entities targeted by our sanctions and who are responsible for the crisis. The goal of the task force would be to track Russian capital to ensure that sanctions are being properly implemented and to identify other potential targets for sanctions. So this would be a dedicated group of experts assisting the government and other governments in tracking problematic or illicit flows of Russian capital to ensure that they're not avoiding the sanctions regime that has been imposed. It's to tighten the grip, tighten the vice on those responsible for the invasion of Ukraine and crimes elsewhere. And thirdly, I'm pleased to say that while Canada has a strong record of providing support to Ukrainian forces in the face of the current crisis, and as I mentioned, we provided training and non-lethal equipment and radar satellite images and other support. But more can be done on a permanent basis to assist Ukraine's capacity to defend itself. And therefore, I'm pleased to announce that a re-elected Conservative government will rapidly complete negotiations for a defense cooperation agreement between Canada and Ukraine that will allow us to better cooperate on security issues, military training, and defense research and material, among other areas. Upon negotiating the defense cooperation agreement with Ukraine, a re-elected Conservative government will add Ukraine to Canada's automatic firearms country control list, and that will allow Canada much more easily to export military equipment to Ukraine and assist the Ukrainians with reestablishing their own domestic munitions production capabilities, some of which they lost in Donetsk as a result of the Russian invasion. So these three announcements, two broadly challenging this new Russian aggression. One, the Digital Freedom Fund of $10 million. Secondly, the financial task force on Russian capital flows and sanctions. And thirdly, an accelerated completion of the Canada-Ukraine Defense Cooperation Agreement and the addition of Ukraine to our automatic firearms country control list. All of these add to the other measures of demonstrating our solidarity in very practical ways, and I hope that we'll have a chance to implement these policies and to continue Canada's leadership as a voice for the people of Ukraine and Central and Eastern Europe. Thank you very much.